The alarm rang in at 5 a.m. on a cold winter morning. A 68-year-old Vietnam vet with a severe heart condition had set off his medical alert device. But instead of an ambulance, police arrived at Kenneth Chamberlain's apartment. Neighbors saw guns drawn, a riot shield.
They stated that if he didn't come open the door, they was going to knock it down.
Right across from the elevator took a...
His niece, who lives upstairs, told police at the scene he'd set off the alarm accidentally to please let his family talk to him.
I just kept hearing my uncle, respond, please leave me alone, go away, I didn't call you, I don't need your help.
Chamberlain and the police were being recorded by the alert device.
You hear one of the officers then use an expletive, and that's when he said he didn't give an F, used the N-word.
The N-word?
Yes.
Law enforcement sources confirm that's on the tape. But there's more. Later, the district attorney showed the family 2 videos in their custody, one from a hallway security camera, another recorded by a camera on a taser gun. Kenneth Jr. demonstrated what he saw. What is your dad saying? What's he doing?
He's standing there, he's looking at them, and you hear the officers saying, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again. And then at one point you hear the officers say, shut it off. So the last part that I saw on the video with my father was him just like this.
Police say Chamberlain threatened them with knives.
The officers first used an electronic taser, which was discharged, hit the victim, and had no effect. While the officers were retreating, the officers then used a shotgun, a beanbag shotgun.
So then they fired 2 real bullets. An autopsy report obtained by CNN shows them entering the side of his arm, indicating that Chamberlain was not facing the officers or had turned away.
So the story that the police put out, that he was an axe-wielding black man trying to hurt a police officer, is what it is, a flat-out lie.
To have thought it is ironic in sort of the terrible way that someone summoned to your father's door to help save his life if he had been having some kind of heart emergency.
Yes.
Ended up shooting him.
Yes. And they took his life. Unnecessarily. They didn't have to.
The shooter, police officer Anthony Corelli, is a decorated officer. His lawyer said, "We trust that the grand jury will rightfully determine that Officer Corelli's actions, while perhaps not understandable or acceptable to family members, attorneys, and other emissaries of the Chamberlain family, were justified under our laws." Chamberlain's niece will soon testify before that grand jury. She wants to know why police couldn't defuse the confrontation and wouldn't ask the family to help.
Just to hear him constantly say over and over again, please leave me alone, I'm okay. And the way they mocked him and picked at him is very hurtful.
Scream.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Monday, April 16th, 2012, and I'm Darko. My website is ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. And on YouTube, my channel is ddarko 2012 and 2013. Okay, so moving to some surveillance, Big Brother, and kind of just war on terror or liberty or sovereignty. In this video segment, hopefully next video, we'll get into some eugenics. So you saw just a bit of this video playing, and there's some videos that just the way they are, see how it's moving like that? When you're recording, it is just a yetch to do because it just never wants to do what you want it to do. So you just saw a little blurb of that poor individual screaming, so I'll just go through it. And it probably works out for the best because, you know, just in case you weren't ready for it, it probably is pretty hard to watch, so it kind of worked out. It says here, video of student restrained and shocked for hours at Judge Rottenberg's center was played in court on Tuesday after a years-long battle by the center to keep it from the public eye. So this is a graphic video of a teen being restrained, shocked, and played in court. And somehow the Rottenberg Center convinced a judge 8 years ago to seal the video. It goes on and says it cleared the way, just a recent decision to give the public the first look at how these controversial electric shocks are used. The video was taken by one of the center's classroom cameras. McCollins, then 18 years old, was shocked 31 times that day in 2002. Lawyers for the center and its clinicians say it was part of the treatment he needed to quell his aggressive behavior. So it goes on, it says Andre is shown seated at a desk inside a classroom as a staff member asked him several times to remove his coat. He stays still, apparently not responding or removing his coat until he's given a shock, screams, falls to the floor, yelling as he tries to hide under his desk. Eventually, he's restrained face down, a helmet on his head without breaks for food or water or the bathroom. It goes on and says, I never signed up for him to be tortured, terrorized, and abused. Cheryl McCollins told the jury, I have no idea that they torture the children in the school. She also testified what her son was like when she visited him 3 times a day later after the incident. She said she found him in a, quote, catatonic state. Moving on, L.A. police fired 90 rounds at fleeing unarmed teen. So L.A. teen was killed by a halo of police gunfire on Wednesday night after 8 officers fired 90 rounds in total as he appeared to point an object towards him. So that's all you have to do is point an object, like candy bar or whatever, your hand. So if you are feeling kind of suicidal due to the economy and you do want to try to punch out without having to actually put the bullet through your own head, you know, karmically you may be thinking like that, well, all you got to do is just walk around naked, and when the police come to you, all you got to do is just, without anything, of course, you're going to look like, you know, this guy's definitely not armed, he's naked, and all you got to do is take your arm behind your back like that and put like a little fake gun with your hand, and you'll get shot. But unfortunately, they're probably going to revive you and throw you in the jail. So we have TSA inspector accused of stealing iPads at DFW Airport, and we did see that poor woman crying, trembling, shaking as she was being patted down, basically taken advantage of and violated, basically, at the airport. Remember I was saying how, oh, we got to do, you know, the courts cleared all prisoners to be strip searched, and it's like, remember what I said, you don't have to be charged with a crime or even be in prison to be strip searched. You're already doing it at the airports, and people aren't even committing crimes. So but then remember this story, just Friday, or not Friday, but last Wednesday, remember I covered about the first video was all about police brutality and corruption. And what happened? Oh, see, he just wanted to be left alone. It was this little medical device triggered it off, basically. The guy had a bad heart. And what did they do? They tased him, and then they shot beanbags at him. He was just telling him to leave him alone and to get his family. But nope. So it says here, a TSA baggage inspector at Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas airport has been indicted in the theft of Apple iPads from luggage over 8 months. So it's just a bad apple. It says here, Google's Sergey Brin, web freedom faces greatest threat ever. And look at this. It says, you know that we're in deep doo-doo when Sergey Brin sounds like he's been reading Cryptagon, which is the website. It's a great site. So, but yeah, you go there and check it out. I got lots to get to, so headlines and links will be posted. YouTube's video description. When Big Brother watches IT, says new software analyzes email of IT staff for changes in attitude and behavior. So it goes on there and it says how you know, data security is a big deal within companies, right? And it goes on there and refers to a term called the enemy within, the biggest threat to an enterprise. is their own worker. But it goes, and then it starts to get Orwellian, as the Wall Street Journal reports, that some organizations are even now using technology to look at the language of their IT staff's emails to determine whether their behavior or mindset has changed. That's right. So it goes in, or it says a dramatic change in length of a person's emails. For example, someone may start writing emails of half a dozen words when their messages used to read like novels. Other tip-offs are a rise in number of anger-related phrases, the greater use of the word me, and signs of more polarizing thinking like the words never and always. The tat that brings kids back, that's right. And it goes on, and this is basically a new device invented by a Baltimore mom of 3 kids. Safety Tat is a fun, colorful, temporary safety child ID tattoo that uniquely offered, either customized with your mobile phone number or blank so you can write in your cell phone number on them. It says when applied to the arm of your child's loved one, it says here, Safety Tat provides an immediate, highly visible form of child identification that stays in place even when wet. And here, even in Indiana, there's all these billboard signs by the state saying, get a DNA kit for your kid, you know. So moving on here, human brain to be built using the supercomputer. And just remember, they also have a fingerprinting thing in there with the DNA kit as well. So moving on here, human brain to be built using supercomputer. Scientists are trying to build a human brain using the world's most powerful computer. So this is very eerily similar to one of the episodes in Star Trek where it's actually run by computers that used to be men that basically they came so far intellectually that they just basically gave up their bodies. And it relates to what? Tiny gene change affects brain size IQ. So even though I've actually seen this study that says that there's actually not a correlation between the size of your brain and your IQ. There's actually some people that were studied. I remember it was a male in particular that had a small head but very high IQ. That's even if you accept the IQ premise, right? So, but it basically goes in there and says they performed the largest brain study of its kind, and found a gene linked to intelligence, a small piece in the puzzle as to why some people are smarter than others. And just my own personal view is, intelligence to me, yeah, it's great and everything, but I found some of the most intelligent people are usually a-holes. And, the Luciferians tend to go along with that, with intelligence, which was brought by Lucifer and the light, and to make fires and all that stuff, which is nice because we have all the technology now, but at the same time, we're enslaved by it. And I think this is hell on earth right now. So moving on here, when you keep things simple, things tend to just work a little more smoothly, I think, for people, especially the common people, because then you start going down that eugenics road of social engineering. Well, if you don't have those genes, that intelligence gene, well, you're not going to get promoted at your job, or you just won't even be allowed to procreate. So UAE signs deal to integrate national IDs into mobile phones. So the UAE has had a national ID since 2004, with IDs carrying a chip similar to one on a credit card and holding a person's name, birthday, gender, photograph, fingerprint, and ID number. But now they're going to have a national ID as well. London data center readies staff sleeping pods for Olympics. That's right. And this is basically for IT workers at these data centers that are basically going to be spying on all these people for the Olympics. And it says they're going to have these sleeping pods to allow their engineering staff to stay on site 24/7. It says here, dual focus contact lens prototypes ordered by Pentagon. Ooh, by the Pentagon, right? So I thought this was going to be just for the civilians. No, it says here, this is for HUD units. This is head-up display units like what pilots use, fighter pilots. Glasses that allow images to be projected onto their lenses. The tech could help troops enhance their awareness on the battlefield to help fight for your freedom. And remember, of course, robots will be taking over for the humans. Military wants better machine vision for smarter robot cameras, so that makes sense. Oh, and it's brought to you by DARPA, the same people that are bringing you that robot that can now climb stairs, into a vision program known as the Mind's Eye that can recognize patterns such as a person about to be hit by a car. It goes on and says, we could see robots and other machines getting much better at vision-based tasks that humans are best at. What happens when they get better than humans? Well, like I said, the humans go away, except for the elites, right? The intellectually superior ones, the ones with the good genes. National Geospatial-Intelligence Agency mapping Africa one country at a time. That's right. White House orders commercial spy satellites study as deep cuts rumors. So they're cutting your benefits, but they're going to keep spying on you. Space-based domestic spying kicking civil liberties to the curb. Besides DHS, Department of Homeland Security's imagery requirements, it's also what? The ultra-spooky National Reconnaissance Office. along with the NGA. Now, these are the people that are going to be carrying out the targeted assassinations of you in your backyard while you're barbecuing because you're a terrorist. This is GGN, and I'm Darko. Thank you.